Hey everyone, happy Thursday. It is the day for the animal experience. I am Coryelle Kramer. I am a professional intuitive for animals and people, metaphysical expert and healer. And I am here with a ending to a wonderful journey, but it's not completely ending. So this is the finale of episode of season 1 of the animal experience, and it has been a beautiful, incredible, awesome, kick-ass, fantastic, loving, healing, funny, touching, I believe, journey for me personally. And I know that a lot of people are referring back to the videos to help their friends who are either going through a difficult time with their animals, whether that is their loss of their animal, or whether it's finding about the time coming for euthanasia, or whether it's bad behaviors, or whether it's to find out if they're healing and how healing they are, and how they see caregiving, and how they see healing, and how they see all these different kinds of really beautiful experiences. And I am thrilled to have been able to bring you season 1. Season 2 is not going to start for a little while. I need a little bit of a break in between, so you just have to stay posted to my Facebook page and I'll let you know when that's going to happen. I don't have a date yet, but let's say probably in the next 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure. There are some things that I need to shore up first. So, the finale of Animal Experience. Now, I'm going to go over just a little bit. I'm going to go over some of the amazing episodes that we've gone through in the animal experience, because I think it's something that we need to talk about. The animal experience has touched on a huge amount of subjects, and the animal experience has got its own Facebook page. So the reason I did this is because it's so much easier to send people to this Facebook page. If you want to find a show, it's kind of like a library. It's the animal experience library. Think of it like that. So we've talked about why one animal communicator gets something different than another animal communicator. We've talked about things like death, reincarnation. I talked about, actually, I did a lot of the talking. I'm just going to go down the list so that people understand this has been going on, again, for 52 weeks. It's not something to just say, oh, this just happened once or twice. This was 52 weeks. There's 52 episodes of, I think, really incredible information that if you want to know more about the animals, you should look at these videos, and please share them, because it's not about me getting the recognition. We're trying to spread the word about animals and how they see the world and how they see us and how they see their lives. So different animals communicators getting different, why do different animal communicators get different communications? That was episode 1. Episode 2 was reincarnation. Episode 3 was death and transitioning. Episode 4 was the sustenance animals, the prey animals. How do they see things? Episode 5, I refer back to quite a bit. Okay, this is no joke. This was soul plans and life plans. I'm not going to go into it right now because it is a very long subject. Okay, it was almost close to an hour-long video, but it's something that you really should look at. Episode 6 were, do animals reason, or is it just instinct? Episode 7 was, how do animals communicate? You want to know how to communicate with your animals? Watch that episode. Episode 8, also going on the back of episode 7 of how to communicate with your animals, is mutual respect, the it factor. You should look at that too if you want to know how to look and speak to animals. Episode 9 was how to talk with your own animals. So all these 3 episodes, 7, 8, and 9, give you a wealth of information on how to talk to and listen to your own animals, and also techniques. Episode 10 was Law of Attraction. You need to watch it to find out what it is. Episode 11 was Animals Talk About Abuse and Neglect. Now, this was really huge. This changed my life, I know, as a person and as an animal communicator. All right? I know that this changed my life and my perspective on animals. It is not gloom and doom, so you can watch it. Don't worry about that. It is not going to show abused animals. I would never, ever, 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 ever do that. And this tells you why. All right? So it's a great episode to watch about. Episode 12 was Past Lives. I knew nothing about past lives until I started doing animal communication. Episode 13 was Divinity and the Animals. Do they pray? And if so, who are they praying to? Then episode 14 was How do Animals See Spirits? Episode 15 was Life Journeys. This was, again, I refer back to this one a lot. 16, Caregiving and Euthanasia. 17, Can Animals Grieve? 18, The Whys Behind Unwanted Behavior. 19, Choosing the Right Animal Communicator for You. 20, Do Animals Lie? 21, Do Animals Hate? 22, The Animal Villains. This was a unique perspective on how the animal villains see things. 23, How do animals see us? How do they see humanity? 24, Animals and the Stream of Well-Being. This concept helped me so much with my own animal, Sammy. So I share about it. I also post on all of these videos. I also post some of my posts that I wrote on my website. So I'm trying to give you guys as much information as I possibly can. I know it can be a little overwhelming. It's 52 things, okay? We all don't have time to watch 52 things, so pick and choose. But any one you pick and choose is going to have a lot of information for you. So 25 was the animal experience, the animal's views on vaccinations. 26 was spaying and neutering. 27 was chill out, how the animals do it. 28 was how do animals have a sense of humor. 29 was are animals healing, and if so, how. 30, animal communication. Episode 30 was animal communication as the sign of the devil or the sign of divine. Episode 31 was really popular. It was how to travel with or without your fur kids. You're traveling and they come home and they're a hot mess. So what can you do while you're away that will help them? Episode 32 was the viewpoint from the scary beasties. Snakes, bats, cockroaches, spiders, the scary beasties. 33 was our animals working behind the veil. This was a beautiful episode. I love that episode. I love them all, but there were some that really touched me. 34 was self-image in animals, how they view themselves. Episode 35 was do animals have rivalries? Cats and dogs, horses and pigs, cats and mice, and all this kind of stuff. 36, good vibes, bad vibes, animals and energy. Very, very important. Very, very important episode. Episode 37, alternative or allopathic medications or medicines for animals. Which do animals prefer? Episode 39, can animals take on our issues? Episode 40, hugely popular, the benefits of CBD oil. You want to know about it? Watch the episode, share about the episode. Episode 41, food and your animals. Episode 42, handy, awesome animals. Not handicapped, handy, awesome. And why? I love that episode too. Episode 43 was missing and lost animals. Episode 44 was music and animals. Episode 45 was emotions. Episode 46 was heat health tips. Now, you might not need them now, but you might need them later. So you might want to look at that one. Episode 47 was meditation. Episode 48 was communicator versus behavioralist. Episode 49 was grounding. Episode 50 was age. Episode 51 was on flower essences. The power of the flower, and I think it was 5 flower essences you shouldn't be without. So that is the recap of the entire season 1 of the animal experience. Today, what I want to talk about is real simple. I want to talk about and give you an insight on the back end. No pun intended. But my end of what happens in a session, so that you guys can kind of understand why it's not, what happens, what does it entail? How do I open up the bands of communication? How do I open up the flow of communication? How do I open up the messages, not only for your animals here on this planet, but also in spirit? How do I do that? Does it differ? So here we go. So what I want to say is, when I first connect, first off, I should say this first off, I can connect with any animal anywhere, no matter where they are in the world, if they're living. If they're not, then I can still connect to any animal anywhere in non-physical, which is where I call heaven. Okay. When I do this, I can do it over the phone. I can do it in person. I don't necessarily have to be with the animal in order to do it. So what I do first off when I connect to an animal is I will tell the person on the phone, I will say, I am going to get quiet for a moment. I am going to then open up my communication gateway to your animal. I am then going to ask their permission to talk to them. Why do I do this? I ask their permission to talk with them because I believe personally animals have been put upon too much in this world. I think that we assume stuff about them. We just all of a sudden start talking to them. It would be like if you go to a party, okay? And sometimes this is cool, but sometimes it's not, okay? So it would be like if you're going to a party and then all of a sudden this person, you're hanging out, maybe talking to some friends, and all of a sudden this person comes by and starts yapping away. And it's like, I'm sorry. First off, can you introduce yourself is probably the first thing you'd say. And the second off is, I'm sorry, do I know you? Can you introduce yourself? Who are you? Why are you talking to me? What? I don't know. And then here's the thing that I think. It's really weird if you go into a party and all of a sudden somebody sits next to you and says, hi, how you doing? Hey, my name is whatever. What was your childhood like? And it's like, really? Why are you going to ask me about my childhood? I don't even know you. Who are you? Again. So when I connect to an animal, especially for the first time, no, this is always the first. This is always, every single time. I get their permission. I can't do anything without their permission. Now, a lot of the times animals will say yes. I have not had one animal say, nope, I don't want to talk to you, get away from me. They wouldn't do that. They might not be thrilled, but they'll be okay. So I say, I would like to talk to you. Do I have your permission to talk with you today? And they will say yes. Then once they say yes, I get their personality. Now, some of you have seen on my Facebook page that I like to put a group of animals together, and I do a who's who, one free card reading for who's who. And it's you who has to guess whose personality matches with who. That's where I get it from. So I get their personality. The reason I get their personality is, for me, it helps to make my connection strong. Some animal communicators can just start off right off the bat. I like easing into it. I find that for me, it works. And it works for the animals. It puts them at ease. They know who I am, why I'm talking to them. So then I get their personalities, and this makes my connection to them stronger, but it also will let you know, hey, she's got my animal. The personality I usually only have to do once, and that's usually in the first animal communication, because if I get their personality, I get their personality. I don't have to keep on telling you I'm getting their personality. So then I will say to the person, okay, do you think I have them? And they will tell me yes or no. Now, it is possible if there is a lot of animals in that household, or this person's got a lot of animals in spirit, I might have gotten somebody's wires crossed, especially if you send me a photograph of an animal with more than one animal in it. This is why I just want you to send me photographs of just the animal or the animals. Nobody in it. I don't want pictures of the kids with them. I don't want pictures of the hubby with them. I don't want pictures of the wifey with them. I don't want any pictures of any people, because that can mess up my connection. Plus, I just like looking at your animals. So I take that photograph. I look at that photograph, and yes, sometimes I could get a little wires crossed. But usually people will say, yes, you got my animal. Oh my God, that's exactly the way I always thought that he'd sound or she'd sound. Or, oh my God, that's the exact way that I always thought their personality was. You got them spot on. And that's when we start the session. Now, in a session, I could do anything. Really anything. I am empathic, so what that means is I can get a sense for an animal and their health. Meaning, how is their body feeling? I do what is called an empathic body scan. I will go from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail, and I will go even deeper into the organs, into the veins, into the capillaries, into the muscles, into the bones. Everything gets covered. And then if anything happens and if anything comes up, I can't go past it. It's kind of like what I consider my own personal game of operation. Okay? So it's like if something's going on, if there's a thyroid issue, so I'll start at the head. And then the head, I'll slip right off. And then the neck. If the neck comes up, it's like kind of like I get buzzed. So it's like the head and the neck, and I can't go farther until I mention what's going on. And if I mention what's going on, then I can continue down, so I know that I got it. Now, I can also get how intense that thing is. Meaning, if I get a heart problem, I could say, okay, this is just a little heart murmur. It is not life-threatening. However, I believe that you should always check with whatever I get with your vet. Please do not rely on my empathic skills in place of veterinary medicine, because that's not what it's there for. It's kind of giving you a heads up. Or it's kind of like if the vet can't find something, then I will go in and I will try to find something, but I do not tell people to use my skills and my abilities as a replacement for veterinary medicine. Okay? This is why I think vets and animal communicators should really work together. But, you know, we're still living in the dark ages with some vets on that prospect, and I just don't understand why. I think the more that we work together, the more that we can, you know, really help the animals. And maybe this is another episode, so I'll stop talking about that. But anyway, so that's the empathic scan, okay? And I won't stop until I go all the way. So I'll go all the way, then I'll start into the skin to make sure if there's any problems with the skin. Then I get even deeper and I find out what nutrients, what vitamins, what foods are good for your animal or bad for your animal. So I might ask you to tell me what you're feeding them. Again, I don't go into judgment. I feed my cats Friskies. I'm sorry, I do. Okay, I've told you about this in the food episode. The reason being is I've tried the $5 cat food. They will not eat it. And I'm not starving my cats. It's ridiculous. But that's me. So I believe in their stream of well-being. Again, another episode. Anyway. So then what I do is I get a sense for the whole package. How is their well-being? What can we do to get them the help that they need? Are there issues? Are there allergy issues? If there are allergy issues, what can we do to boost their immune system? This could be flower essences. It could be immune boost. It could be CBD oil. It could be, I lost count at how many ideas. It's like I go to like a metaphysical grocery store or pharmacy in my head, and things just pop up that I've never even heard before. And then I'll go and Google them later, and it finds out, oh, that's a great home remedy for this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So that's great. It's awesome. So that's what I do with that. Then if there's a straight communication, I just open up my doors of communication to the animal, and I talked about this in how to talk to your own animals. I just open up my doors of communication, and it just floods in. It's like a conversation I'm having with anybody else. And I ask you questions. What questions do you have for your animal? What you want me to relay? If they have anything, I'm acting as a bridge so everybody can hear each other clearly. That's the only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's not about ego. It's not about, trying to change. Well, to a certain extent, that's not true. It is about changing the world. Sorry, I'm going to take that. It is changing the world. But it's not about just, being hubris about it. It's about the fact that I'm just acting as a bridge. I try to just be a filter for the information. I try to stay as neutral as I possibly can. I don't judge. That's not my job. I'm not a judge. You don't see me with the gavel. You don't see me with the robe on. I don't judge. I just act as a bridge so everybody can hear each other clearly and express what they need to. Now, sometimes this happens during different phases of the animal's life. If there's unwanted behaviors, I can help with that. If there is just people questioning and just finding out how their animal sees life, or how they see them, or how they see their living with this person or the other animals, I can do that. If there is a problem with one animal coming in and another animal, not gelling with that, if all of a sudden there is a problem with one animal not liking another animal, whereas before they were fine, if you have questions about your animal's history, sometimes I can find that out, but it's up to the animal. If they want to share it, that's fine. If they don't want to share it, because this goes back to the abuse episode. See how everything's tying into the previous episodes, people? So if they don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to push it on them. Come on, tell me about your abuse. Come on. I'm not. If they want to let it go, I'm going to let it go. You should let it go. Okay, so that's my dealio. So again, I'm seeing questions and comments. That's beautiful. Keep them coming. I will take them at the end of the show. All right, I promise. So I just let the information just flow through me. I try to stay as open and neutral as I possibly can. So what I want to say is this. I do the same thing with animals in spirit. You have to understand. What I really do is I kind of like tether myself to your animal. Like a psychic will tether themselves to your connection to your spirit. Well, I'm a psychic too, but that's what we do. We tether what we do is we tether, or we follow that tether between your person, yourself, your personal self, and your spirits, wherever they are. That's essentially what we do. So that's what I do. Your love of your animals transcends time and space. Love, this is where people just don't get it. Love is the most powerful force in the whole freaking universe. It transcends time and space. Okay? So I can talk to an animal that you might have had in a past life. All right? Because if that connection is so strong, I just follow that tether that you have to them. I don't know how else to describe it. It's me following the love lines. You've heard of ley lines. These are love lines. Okay? So that's why I can talk to an animal in spirit. And I usually do pretty much the same thing. Maybe I'll change it up a little bit. But usually I'll ask them to show me their personality in life. The reason I do that is because sometimes their personality in spirit is way different than their personality in life. They might, there are times that I've talked to, this is really fascinating. There are times I've talked to like this really, really small dog. But his essence, when I connect to him in non-physical, is huge. And I talk to them, and I ask the people, was he a Great Dane or something? Because he had a big spirit, and they'll usually understand what I mean by that, meaning he was a big soul. He was a big force to be reckoned with, and he was a big part of their lives, and his personality was big. But it could be totally different from what I'm getting for somebody in spirit than it is for somebody who was here. So I try to get their personalities here. Sometimes it's fun to get the spirit thing because it really is. It's really a healing experience, and that's what I want to do. I tell people all the time, I love my job because I get to make people cry. And when I get to make people cry, I know I'm helping them to release and to heal. It's a really beautiful thing. I mean, I get paid for that, and it's so incredible. And I feel like it's such a huge gift for me. So, I talk to animals who have transitioned, pull them down, get a sense for where they are, if they're reincarnated, if they're coming back, and we talked about this in reincarnation episode. Okay, it's all coming together. So the reincarnation episode, I talked to about how I can get an idea of an animal's coming back, where they're coming back, when they're coming back, what they're going to look like, how they're going to act, what age they're going to be, everything, what their life purpose is going to be when they come back. This whole 9 yards, and a lot of the times they're coming back to you. So this is where all this information is just downloaded into me. That's the best way I could describe it. It's just flooded into me, which is why it's so important for me to stay as open as I possibly can. So the other thing that I like to do is, the other thing that you can expect me to do into a session, if you hire me for this, is I can talk to the animals who have transitioned, the animals with the unwanted behavior, the animals who are, dealing with some stuff and need some help with abuse. I can do a healing and animal communication session for any animal that needs healing and finding out what's going on with them. There is the way that I can find out if you got a past life with your animal, and if so, what those are. Akashic records for animals, which is basically what their life purpose is. What do they feel like they want to do in this life with you? Do they want to be a therapy dog? Do they want to run agility? Do they want to show? Do they want to be a healing helper? That was also talked about in a previous episode, so I'm just saying. So there's a lot of things to talk about in a session, and that's how I do it. And that's why I can connect to any animal, anywhere, anytime. Just want to make sure I got everything, so I want to go through the process. I've never really, it happens so much like this, I don't usually go through the steps, so let me just, and then we do the, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Then we open it up to whatever question you have. What do you want me to find out? What do you want me to talk to? What do you want me to relay? I could talk to animals who are about to transition to find out if it's time. Is this time? Okay, and I've talked about this this is in a previous episode. I get it in different stages. It's kind of like a trip. What stage is your animal at? Is he at the door with his hat and coat on, ready to go? Or are they still packing? Or are they looking at the brochures? Or they know what they want to bring on their trip, but the suitcase is still open. There's different stages for me. And then I can talk to, of course, the animals who've transitioned. But there's a process, what I call the end of life reading. Is it close to end of life? And what can I do for that, for you? And what can I do for your animal? So I just try to stay as open as I possibly can to everything. I try not to limit myself because I don't know where this information is going to come in. I don't know how it's going to come in. I just know it's going to come in. So I might all of a sudden get like a image of, I don't know, a yellow sweater. I got to tell you what that is, because and it might not mean anything to you, or it might. You know, maybe maybe his favorite color is yellow. Maybe I have to stay open. I stay open to everything in a session. And it can take a lot out of me. So it's not like it's just something that I just do woohoo and, presto changeo, and, it can take a lot out of you. It can also be extremely invigorating. It can be extremely loving. It can be extremely releasing for me as well. Because sometimes I'm getting their emotion. So their emotion is flooding me. All of a sudden I'm crying, or all of a sudden I'm laughing and I can't stop laughing. It can be very interesting, some of the sessions that I do. So, especially the ones where I can't stop laughing. Those are very interesting. Anyway, so I try to do whatever I can do to help to be the bridge for you and your animal. Not that you can't hear them, not that you can't have them and relay, and they can't hear you. It's just that you want to make sure that everything is said. You want to make sure that everything is found out. You want to make sure that you're doing every single thing that you can for them. So that is what you can kind of expect in a session with me. There's more to it, of course, because no two sessions are alike. But in a nutshell, that's basically what it is. And like I've shared before, animal communication is huge. And I think animal communication is something that is not taken seriously enough. I just don't. And I think it's changing. I do think it's changing. I think people are getting more and more into it. And they're into the thing of, well, why not? Let's give it a shot. We tried everything else. But I think we still have a long way to go with the veterinarians, unfortunately, but I think it's changing. I hope it's changing. And I hope, and I tell people, if you feel comfortable telling your vet that you talk to your animal communicator, do it. You don't have to, not for me, but I'm just saying, maybe you can help to change your vet's mind about what I do. Just a little thing. So that is basically season 1. I mean, we covered a lot, people. We covered a lot of information. This is a Wikipedia of wondrous animal experiences. And it's so powerful. It's changed my life, the animal experience. Not doing it, but living it has changed my life. So, share the videos, post the videos, watch the videos. It's about, leave comments on YouTube, download the podcast, tell people to download the podcast. It's important to spread the word and let them know what animal communication can do, what the animals can do, how they see life, what they do with this life, because it is extraordinary. So that's just a little thing. I'm going to try to see if I can get everybody's comments and questions now. But here's the thing. I am going to, if I miss anybody, I will be sure to see them at the end and comment at the end. But I am, like I said in the beginning, season 2 is going to be probably a bit of a pause between season 1. I need a little bit of time. It's been a lot. I've dedicated an entire year of my life to the animal experience, and I need to regroup. I need to recap, and I need to kind of rethink some of the things going on with the animal experience. But there will be a season 2, I promise. So, Rebecca Slater says, Louie, my swashbuckling man about town. She's talking about Louie, her dog, who Yes, he is this very swashbuckling, kind of like suave, kind of like his personality, which is what I was talking about before. I never get tired of the animals and how they describe themselves. It's hilarious. Some of the combinations are hilarious. I'll get, kind of like James Bond with a touch of Jerry Lewis. It's like, really? Or I'll get kind of like, Harpo Marx and, kind of like, Louis Armstrong. And I'm like, okay. And I have to interpret what that means, It's very fun. Never a dull moment, baby. Never a dull moment. Sharon says, totally spot on with Jersey. And you got us 7 more months together with your healing sessions. Jersey I talked about very much in a lot of the episodes. That's Sharon's dog, Jersey. She was extraordinary. I'm not kidding you. This dog, 7 months, and you would not think that this dog was sick. Jumping up on the bed, running around, barking. You would think this dog was some kind of puppy again. It was the most incredible experience I've ever seen. One of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Rebecca says, you've changed our world. Louis is doing fantastic with the CBD oil. He plays and enjoys mountains like he was 5 again. Oh my God. That makes my heart sing. That's freaking awesome. Look at what he's doing. He's lining up with his healing. He's doing his healing. He's lining up with his CBD oil. He's lining up with life again. Ah, man. Thank you for letting me know that, Rebecca. I am thrilled. Tracy says, you're changing the world for the better, and you're a blessing to all of us. One day I will save enough rands to use your services. Love you to the moon and back. Thank you, Tracy. I love you too, and thank you very much for the support. And so, Tracy's in South Africa, so that's why she's saying rands. It's like, rands? What? I don't take men. Well, okay. Hang on a second. Let's put that back. Let's just forget I even said that. Moving on. So, hey, it's the last episode, man. Rebecca says, thank you for all you do. You're welcome. Carrie Font says, oh, Carrie Font, this woman, please. She's going to get me crying. I can't even talk. Okay. Coryelle, hi. Sorry I just joined. I've been working. I will listen to it later. I love this topic, and I'm so curious. Thank you for helping us with Petunia and Fiona. I can't say enough about Carrie and her dog, both of them. But Petunia is like Jersey. She kept accepting the healing I sent her, and she kept living and a good life and enjoying life. And I can't remember how long she lived, but people were giving her vets gave her, weeks, and she lived for months. It's just incredible. I mean, she was definitely in the episode with the healing. So you should watch that, because Petunia was damn inspiring. I mean, really inspiring. Alessandra, hello. It's very nice to see you. It's wonderful to have all of you guys here supporting the animal experience. I so appreciate it. I really do. I am thrilled. I hope that this is helping. I hope that you're enjoying it. I think you are. I know you are. A lot of you have told me that you are. So I appreciate that. But the animal experience has been going on for over a year. Last week was the year episode, or the year week. And this is the 52 weeks. I mean, it's 52 weeks we've been together. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I still have so much to tell you in season 2. And I'm getting more and more topics every single day. Every single day. I'm getting new, different topics. So I'm thrilled and happy to be able to share it with you. I am going to, if there's nobody else who would like to comment or share, I am now running a special, just so that you know. It is ending midnight on Friday. So September 1st, it's done. There's no more. And it is 50 minutes for $30. You can see it at my website, which is CoryelleKramer.com. I want to thank you all again for joining, for supporting the animal experience, for supporting me. And you are amazing. Your animals are phenomenal and make myself, just touching with them and looking at their pictures and talking with them has made me a better person, and definitely has made me a better animal communicator. One other thing before I say goodbye, because this is important. Alessandra says the vet sent Socks home to die and he lived several years after that. Well, that is the best news that I can hear, because when the vet did all they can do, and that's why I'm saying I think it's really important for us to, I think the more that we all are together, veterinarians, animal communicators, Reiki workers, crystal workers, I think we got to stop segmenting ourselves, because I think the more we really and truly work together, the more we can make life better for so many more animals. At least I believe it. But thank you for sharing that, Alessandra. And really, truly, everyone, I love you. I love your animals. And until next season, I'm wishing you guys a wonderful, amazing, fantastic, phenomenal time of experiences with your animals. And I love you much, and I'll see you later.